So, welcome back to another Conductor Thursday Livestream. I am joined by a very special guest. Chastain's in LA is with me tonight. First time on the show. Glad to have him. I'm so glad to have you on the show. I actually reached out. You were one of the very few people I reached out to, new content creators. I'm trying to, expand the channel, reach out to people instead of the same group that I have. So I'm so glad to have you on. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Well, first of all, the pleasure is all mine, my friend. Thank you so much for reaching out and having me on. This is so much fun. This is like one of my favorite things to do, is to talk to other people about interesting things that are interesting to me and interesting to you. And hopefully people that are listening will be interested to listen to the things that we have to say as well and get a little tidbit. Anyway, yes, he said it. I am Josh from Chastain's in LA. I have been doing this for a few years now. Most of my main stuff you can find on YouTube at Chastain's in LA. But I'm also kind of skulking around the socials a little bit. I've got Instagram at Chastain's in LA, X, Chastain's in LA, and TikTok, Chastain's in LA. So I tried to make it easy, try to streamline it all. As long as you can spell my last name, you can probably find me on all these places.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And thank God they brought back TikTok. I know a lot of people were pissed off about that one.
Dude, I had said my goodbyes and everything. Like I had a whole video or a whole post about like find this. I'm good buddies with I don't know if you follow him, Adventures with David. He does a lot of the cons and a lot of not stuff. And I kind of copied him like a lot. Like he probably could have sued me and gotten away with it. But it was just one of those things where when I was like, okay, this is a real deal. TikTok's gonna go away.
Yeah.
I that's when I actually, it's funny, like that's when I really started focusing my efforts more on X.
Sure.
And I backed off TikTok a little bit. And then TikTok came back and I was like, oh, well, I just doubled my workload. Because now I'm not gonna stop on X. I like using that platform too, but TikTok is kind of where it's at right now. It's 2025, so.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. And one of the first things I want to talk about tonight is Universal Studios Hollywood. They are such a humongous transformation with the hotels happening. Again, nothing confirmed by Universal on that, but KTLA 5 broke the news about the hotel. And then just recently, they broke another story that the Hilton, which is not even 50 yards from the front gate,
Yep.
now in preparations to build the next tower to their area. I want to ask you straight out, if Universal Hollywood, because it's a small park, okay? It's not Orlando. It's not even the Disneyland Resort, but it's very unique. It's a
movie studio.
Oh, yeah, it's a movie studio, but it's a theme park, so it makes it unique. That studio is pulling like hundreds of millions of dollars a year for entertainment industry, but yet it could be a park at the same time. And I want to ask you, if Universal Studios Hollywood was not interested in expansion, and I mean theme park expansion, do you even think we would even get a hotel on this property?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
No. Just because if they weren't interested in that,
sure,
then it would show that they're not really interested in growth in general.
Yeah.
So there'd be no point. You know what I mean? They're getting plenty of handle at the gates as is, with the 8 rides that they have or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So if they were going to be content with that, then yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense to me, because a bunch of content creators I've talked to, they all say the same thing. Why would Universal pump the money into this theme park, build not one but 2 massive hotels on property if they weren't serious? Now, my next question to that is, we've also been seeing a lot of third-party stores, shops, restaurants closing in City Walk. I want to get your take on that because on your video that you just filmed today, and I'm going to show you in a second, you're showing all the closures on just a recent victim as of today is Billabong. So Billabong is now the newest closure, or going to be the newest closure. What do you think's going on with City Walk? What do you think they're trying to accomplish?
My hope, and I've mentioned this a couple times, my hope is that they're seeing these closures.
Sure.
And Billabong might actually be a different case because they're closing all their stores.
Yeah.
So that may have just been a blessing in disguise for Universal because that's a lot. That's a big chunk of land right there in the corner. That's important real estate, especially if they want to bring the hotel in.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
Sure.
that they want to kind of morph the City Walk into more of a gathering of nightlife.
Sure.
I'm hoping that they kind of see the City Walk in Orlando, and you can see. I mean, Orlando City Walk, they got a bunch of bars and stuff, and like bars and grills, and the Margaritaville's there, and the Toothsome's there, and they've got a bunch of stuff that you can do after the park closes. And if they want to put a hotel up there, people are going to want something to do throughout the night.
Absolutely.
So my hope is that what they bring, and we're already seeing it, they're bringing the that pizza place in where Sparky's was. They're bringing things that will keep people's interest later. They've got the movie theater. That's good. Toothsome is already there. I know it's not anybody's favorite place in the world. But I think a lot of that has to do with the Orlando. They have free parking after 6. We don't. And I think you give people free parking after 6. I think you're going to increase the value. When Saddle Ranch used to be up there, I don't know if you remember that. It was right next to the gate. That place was off. The place was lit. On weekends. It was nuts, man. And you bring that vibe back. Even I wish I remember what it was called. The place that it's Margaritaville now.
Okay.
But it was like a bowling alley and like an arcade and like a
kind of like oh my god, I could see it, but I can't figure the name. But they have locations all around like mall stuff.
Yeah. If anybody in the chat knows, please tell us.
Yeah.
I spent a New Year's there one year because everything else was booked up. Like I couldn't get anywhere, but I went right there. I got a lane at like 8 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Spent the New Year up there. I think Gearing. No, it wasn't Dave and Buster's. Although I would love a Dave and Buster's.
You know what? Round 1.
There you go. Yeah, I think that was what it was called. It might have been round 1. I think you might be right. But stuff like that, I think, and I could be wrong about this too, but I think Universal wants to put more than one hotel up there.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like I said, I'm showing your video, and clearly where iFly is, they have backstage, and then right next to that, they have the H lot where for the last couple of years we've had Halloween Horror Nights houses. In that H lot, that is supposedly where they want to put the second hotel.
Oh, in the H lot, not there.
Yeah,
that's going to be the security check. There is my assumption.
That's probably going to be the security checkpoint. Yes.
Okay. So
it's also going to be a temporary entrance into the theme park, if confirmed by Universal that they're going to close the front to build the main hotel.
Okay. That'll be an interesting walk. Because that backstage area is pretty. I mean, it's just buildings. Like they've got like the costuming and stuff, and the backstage of Waterworld.
Yeah,
over there. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, man, is if they do start building this hotel in the front, like the way that they've been going, like at the pace they've been going, how long do you think it would even take for them to build a hotel right there?
To be strictly honest with you, I think we could see a 2027 opening. I'm
They want to do it before the Olympics, right?
Oh yeah,
that would be the goal. The goal of this whole thing would be Olympics.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's so funny because I referenced so many times in the past, either during live streams or when I had, whether I was solo or I had other guests on the show, I've always said, and this is kind of like a shot at Disney, you know, when Universal wants a project completed, worked on, started, they have the money and they throw their money where their mouth is. Disney,
Mhm.
on the and they go through so much red tape, and the perfect example of that would be Tron. Yes, we did go through COVID, which was a horrible time,
Mhm.
but the park was closed. They kind of ramped it up like crazy, and they didn't. It
That's
took
true.
8 years to build one attraction, but yet it took Universal to build Epic Universe in less time than that.
Yep, a whole park.
Yeah. So
That's
it,
crazy.
it cracks me up. So I can see both hotels or at least one hotel open by the time the Olympics happen. I think both of them are going to open. I don't see why not. I really don't.
And at that point, I feel like when they get to the point of building the hotel, a
Yeah.
lot of these other projects will probably be done.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to really spend their time and their attention on that part and get, I think it goes up quick. I don't think
Well,
it goes up poorly. Like, it's not gonna be made cheaply,
oh,
but I think
heck
it goes up pretty fast.
no. And you know what's funny that you just said that with other projects completing, because we're watching like what we're seeing on the screen that you shot this morning with the whole area being.
That's different now. I shot that Tuesday. Those planters are all gone now.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if that was in Mondo's video or not,
I
but yeah, that's
think
all gone.
yeah, it's that's what I mean. It's like every single day. It's like
Yeah,
you think you're up to date on what the hell's going on here, and then next thing you
all
know,
state.
else happened. So it's like, what the hell? So
Yeah.
I believe me, I get it. My thing is like with the Fast and Furious, you know, it cracks me up because it says 2026. I'm like, and I was saying it from the moment they broke ground, and
Mhm.
I shot some, some like videos on them tearing down and demoing animal actors. I'm like, there's no way in
Yeah.
hell there it's going to open in 2026. It's going to open in late 2025, and now we're all
Yeah.
speculating and saying that it's possible. There's a light at the end of the tunnel because look how fast they're moving. They can have
Mhm.
track at or at least all the track done by the time I would say it by the time the end of March. What do you think about that? You think I'm off on that?
No, I mean, no. I look at how much track they have already. They don't have that much to go as
No,
far as the track.
no.
And like you said, dude, it's every day there's new stuff.
Yeah,
And they like they've got to do the start or the what is that turnaround at the
yeah,
end. There's the spike. That's really like the main part that they have to finish because
yeah.
everything else is kind of done.
Exactly.
Um,
And it also helps too that they're doing this at night. So some of
yep,
these crews are staying overnight until the next morning doing this. So it's
yep.
great.
And I
You know,
think I don't know what the forecast looks like throughout like the rest of the month, but
yeah.
if it stays dry, I mean these even in like sprinkling, they're still out there working. Like they were still out there working even when it was raining. You know, if obviously if it's torrential downpour, they're not going to go. They're not going to be out there
God.
risking their life and health. But if it stays somewhat dry, dude, yeah, there's no reason why they can't be, you know, off and running at the end of March with the with all the scenic.
Oh, absolutely.
And they'll probably have the sound barriers up too at that point
Oh,
because
yeah.
they've already got that big one halfway done.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? When I was watching that getting constructed, I'm like, are we watching kind of like Jurassic World type theme sound barriers go up? Because it kind of looks like
I mentioned that in the video. I said
it.
it looks like it'll keep the T-Rex in,
Yeah,
keep it
exactly.
from breaking
It,
out because that's exactly what it reminded me of.
oh,
Anytime I see a big fence like that, that's where my brain goes.
oh yeah,
But look, like, and they're working on the facade. Like that brick is going to be almost done in a couple days. You
yeah.
know, all the way around it. But that's the only part right there. That's really all they have to do. But I don't see any. I think I got a little bit of footage on the street. That part right there. That's what I was talking about. That stall out where they got to come back. And then I think that straightaway there. If you look on the other side of the sound barrier, I think they still have to put in the supports.
They do,
but they can. Yeah, right there. But they can. See, T-Rex in. Yeah, like everything like the foundation is laid. They're putting the frosting on the cake now.
Oh, absolutely. And it's interesting because if they have the track done, let's say by the end of March, really the only things they have to complete to get the ride vehicles on site and start testing, because testing I'm assuming take at least 6 months just to make sure the sound is not going to be an issue and whatnot, is basically that sound barrier wall and the scream shields that are going in 2 different spots of the track layout. Once they have that, then they could start ride testing right away, and we could see that at the April, if not May.
Because they can do that while they're doing the theming, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine they could.
I think the only thing, like I said, the only thing they are waiting for is those scream shields to go up, the track to be completed, and that sound barrier, because I think that will play a part in making sure the sound's not going to interfere not only with the studios that's down below, but also the surrounding neighborhoods. So I think once those 3 are done, and we're watching your video as we're talking about this, and we saw theming elements, and I'm not playing the sound because obviously I know I have you on here, but YouTube is not friendly to copyright. But
one of me is enough.
Yeah, exactly. You thought those theming elements could be for Dungeons and Dragons. Do you think it could be for anything else, or?
But my reasoning for that was because they're right outside the soundstage where Dungeons and Dragons is going to be.
Yeah.
So I assume that's what was going to happen. Some people posted updated videos. I think Mondo actually did, and I think Universal High did as well. They started taking it away. Like there's still some out there, but there's not as much. And there's like a big tree stump out there now. So it's like woodsy, outdoorsy. So I imagine it's part of the little, what is it called? Waterfall or water. I don't remember the name of the town. Yeah. But it would be like that kind of woodsy village.
Sure.
That was what I thought. So it could very well be for something else. I don't know.
Oh, more
just throwing it out there.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask about FanFest, I just bought my tickets yesterday.
Nice.
And one thing I wanted to ask you was kind of like what Disney was teasing probably about a month ago about the whole Simpsons thing, asking guests if they want any Simpsons presence in Disneyland. I feel like Universal's testing the waters with this FanFest thing, and I have no doubt it's going to be an absolute success. Could this regular thing once a year?
Oh yeah.
Anything else?
100%. It better be.
Yeah.
Because I have I've hyped myself up so much for this. And I feel like this is just the beginning of something super duper cool.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, man. Universal's, they're kind of on a roll right now, dude.
Oh yeah.
They can't really miss. And I think
they're
as long as this doesn't end up like Firefest, you know what I mean? Where we expect prime rib and they give us a bologna sandwich. It's a couple of Instagram photo shoots and some cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
But I don't see that. I mean, they've been planning this. They've been talking about this for months now.
Oh yeah.
And they know that we've got standards, for them, especially when it comes to after hours events, because they've got the greatest after hours event in the world with Horror Nights.
Oh yeah.
So I think this is a chance. I think they went for lower level IPs that they could afford to kind of throw out, but have dedicated hardcore fan bases with anime, Star Trek, Back to the Future, And they're gonna, like you said, test the waters with these, see what happens, and if it's successful, shoot, dude, maybe next year we get Jurassic Park and Ghostbusters.
Oh, dude,
Or you know what I mean, like bigger IPs that they're,
I'm telling you right now, I
am too.
I could tell you right now, if this is a success, which I have no doubt it's going to be, if they bringing Jurassic Park, and I mean the OG Jurassic Park, not
Jurassic World.
Yeah, the OG Jurassic Park, and they bring some of these like ETs and oh, dude,
boom, yes,
God,
sick.
God, dude,
I don't think we can get Peter Pan, but just saying.
No, I know, right? Tell me. So I want to ask your question because I paused it for a reason. What is your opinion on this hillside? I have my opinion, but I'm kind of curious what you think about what's going on behind here.
So I'm becoming kind of a nihilist with this thing.
Sure.
I because they started doing this when we're all up here, you know what I mean? Yep. We've got a new roller coaster. We've got a new whole land coming in across the country. We've got a year-round Horror Nights event coming in Vegas. Universal is just doing all this crazy stuff. So why wouldn't they move the studio tour route back to the place where it originally was and do something with the real estate that they have behind Hogsmeade?
Oh, yeah.
And then it just stopped. And I don't know if it was for weather or it was for maybe it's for like worker allotments or whatever. Maybe they want those hands over at Fast and Furious because they want to meet deadlines before the weather gets too bad. Maybe they want to have all the track up before like March and April when it's usually starts to kind of rain in May. But dude, I don't know anymore. Like I keep getting told, I'm told by I'm told two different things. I'm good friends with Cal Missing on X.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's convinced that this is going to be the studio, the new studio studio tour loading area. To the point to where he has me convinced. But every time I come here and I see nothing done, I'm like, I don't know, because they still have this tree right here in the bottom right corner. So if they were going to shave the mountain back to widen that road so that the trams can go in and out here, that tree would have been gone by now. There's also another tree up in the corner here that would have been gone too. And then I get people telling me they're just reinforcing the hillside for the roller coaster, which also makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you what I know. So basically, I'm convinced myself, and I've been saying it for a long time, that the studio tour is going to move in this spot. Now, from one thing I do understand, or from what I was told, they are going to reinforce that hillside. Now, when I look at this spot right here, I don't know if the retaining wall is going to go right where my mouse is all the way across, or where the road is, or the makeshift road they made. A wall's going to go up here. But phase one of this project was to build a massive retaining wall, and everything in front of that retaining wall is going to go away. That's
two birds with one stone.
Yes. And then the second phase would be relocating the studio tour. Now, with if that's the case, and we've all seen it with Universal, at least with Hollywood. I don't know how Orlando does their unveils, but with Hollywood, I've noticed since I've been going to the park since '97. So
oh man,
since I was a kid.
Okay.
And whatever project they decide to build, doesn't matter if it's land, attraction, whatever, they always start building it. And then once the building or attraction or entertainment space becomes noticeable to the average YouTuber like us, where we kind of go in depth a little more than the average theme park guest, then they finally announce what it is. But by then, they could be halfway built through it, like Fast and Furious. They didn't do something until almost 4 or 5 months ago.
I know.
So it makes me wonder, when they finally do announce the studio tour is coming back down here, what is going to take over the studio tour area. And I cross my fingers that it's going to be press. The reason why I say that is because I have heard time and time again, just rumors, nothing confirmed, nothing concrete, that the lake area, Jupiter's claim, supercharged, all going to be leveled to the ground, and that's going to be the Harry Potter expansion. Now, how I have no idea. I would like it to be so because I think we got ripped off with Harry Potter. I think it was back in 2010. I think it was Hollywood was actually supposed to get Diagon Alley first, but of course they cater to Orlando because it's a tourist destination theme park resort. Same thing with Nintendo World, where we were supposed to get the full scale version, but it got scaled back. Maybe issues with Epic Universe, who in the hell knows? And then we were supposed to get a Donkey Kong expansion. Now, who knows if that's going to happen, or if we're going to get another Nintendo property. So I want to ask you, with everything I just said, do I sound out of place on anything I just said?
No, because I've heard all the same things. Again, I'll go back to my buddy Cal Missing.
Sure.
He dropped a video back in, I want to say it was last June, and it basically, honestly, dude, it spelled out everything you just said.
Yeah.
He didn't say Harry Potter expansion. He just said a new land back in that whole area, and he didn't mention Supercharge getting bulldozed. I 100% I'm an advocate for that. Please get rid of that. I am over that part of the tram.
Yeah, me too.
But everything you said sounds legit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's funny. Dragon Blood says Universal deserves more love. I agree, and I think it's getting more love. I think step by step, it's going to be piece by. But you bring up a good point where if they're going to bring the tram down here, they're going to need more room. So yeah, of course they're going to build a retaining wall, so they can build that first, widen that area, and kill two birds with one stone.
Oh, absolutely.
Why wouldn't they do that? And I think I was personally hoping for a dark universe down in the tram area now.
Yeah.
That's what I was wanting.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I know a lot of people are, and I've never been to Universal Orlando, so I don't know how cool it could be.
Sure.
But I understand why they would want to give why they'd want to, give us Diagon Alley now. And especially with the new world in Epic Universe, that looks ridiculous.
Oh, it looks fantastic. They've been showing shout out to Bio Reconstruct, showing shots at night. It looks incredible.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Now I want to about this just for a second, because Universal High, he posted on X, I kind of feel, again, Super Nintendo World, I feel we got shafted. The reason is I kind of feel we shouldn't have gotten the full scale version, regardless if the Yoshi, attraction is kid friendly. It shouldn't matter at this point. Hollywood should be focusing on how many rides can we get into this theme park, not if it's kiddish, not if it's made for adults, not if it's made for everybody. So not Yoshi ride was kind of a downfall because it wouldn't have just added more capacity. Yeah. I also feel that we have less mini games. We have I think we're missing a snack stand. We're missing another gift shop, which is I think Mario Motors. And we've seen time and time again in this land that our land's really not being taken care of like it should have, like animatronics not working. Like, for example, the clouds on Mount Theme Park, I can't even remember the last time they worked. And I
don't even remember them working. I forgot that they worked at all.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. And then you got, when the land first opened, you kind of notice behind Peach's Castle, the hillsides, you can kind of tell like someone took a hammer and started hitting walls with the hammer. It's like, what the hell is this? And then you had some of this rock work, some of the rocks peeled off, and you had chicken and it's like, what the hell is going on here? So, uh, I so looking at this vending machine area,
Yeah.
I feel this is a waste of space. This, like Universal High was saying, why can't we get the Yoshi snack stand here? Why can't we get something useful in that
Yeah.
spot? Why does it have to be that?
Yeah. What is that?
So it's
For the bands?
yeah, it's a vending machine for the bands, and there's 6 of them or 5 of them.
Are you? So
Yeah.
they sell them here, but because they don't sell them in the One Up store, do they?
No, they do.
They do. So then why are they selling them here?
Because
I never saw that before.
yeah,
I never, because I just the power up bands and the minigame stuff was something that I just never did.
yeah,
I kept swearing to the kids. I was like, yes, we're gonna get power up bands. We're gonna play the games because that's the whole point of this land.
yeah,
But that's really funny. I never knew that those were just vending machines for
yeah.
power up bands.
That's all it is. It's crazy. It's absurdity. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So as we look on maps, so this Super Nintendo World right here,
Yeah.
I kind of feel that if they would have early concept, if they wouldn't have gotten rid of the Studio Cafe, they wouldn't have gotten rid of Panda Express, which I kind of feel Panda Express or anything like that should not be in a theme park because it's a party company. If they're going to have restaurants inside the theme park, it needs to be based off that theme park and not freaking Panda Express. Mine is Starbucks because Starbucks everyone, so I can't say that, but or shouldn't have been demoed. I kind of feel if they want to rip this whole space right here, I feel like we've done the full scale version of Super Nintendo World.
It would have been easier to see the access point too, because right now it's hidden behind that corner.
Yeah.
You know, I always thought that was a little off-putting. You got to walk all the way down like you're going to get on the Transformers ride, and then make a quick left because there's the entrance.
Exactly. And you know, as we zoom out here, so we got Soundstage 12, which I have to having a HHN house in there last year, freaking awesome. And
it's been great.
Oh, it was fantastic. I hope we get another house in there.
If we do, I hope they utilize more of the space because that soundstage is so big.
Oh, it's massive.
The maze looked like dwarfed.
Yeah,
it looked tiny. Like you walk through those, the main doors, and you got to walk like another 100 feet just to get to the entrance of just empty soundstage.
I know, isn't that crazy? That was
so nuts.
So as we're looking, soundstage 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, those areas there were supposed to be mapped out for Donkey Kong, and it was. I want to ask you, because a lot of people have said they don't want Donkey Kong to come to Hollywood because now you got Epic Universe that has it, Japan has it. Why have a third version of it? I said, if you are going to bring it, customize it. It's same thing with Diagon Alley, and I'll say what I would do with that. But like Donkey Kong, the way I would do it is you can have the roller coaster, maybe a bigger footprint of the coaster, because they even said when they mapped this out early on, they said out of the 3 Donkey Kong lands or 2 Donkey Kong lands, possibly a third, ours was going to be the more superior because it was going to be the biggest because we had the footprint to put it in. And I said, well, why can't we make the track longer? Or maybe we can make our Donkey Kong attraction an indoor dark ride, kind of like what the Jurassic World adventure ride is in Beijing.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, have something like that. Or we can have exclusive meet and greet characters or exclusive games, or even have like a Toadstool type Donkey Kong restaurant. Why not?
Yep.
Toadstool's popular. I don't see why they couldn't, but a lot of people said they don't want that because now it'd be a third iteration of this land, of this IP. So I said, well, okay. If you don't want to do that, what about Luigi's Mansion? You can't tell me people don't like that. I
Hear me
like.
out.
Sure, go for it.
Hear me out. Here's a franchise that has yet to get any love in the cinematic universe. Hasn't really had a great top-notch 5-star game in years, but in its heyday was choice. I'm talking Nintendo 64 days. Legend of Zelda, man.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, I still, to this day, I don't know why there hasn't been a Legend of Zelda movie made. I don't know why Peter Jackson didn't eat that up and build it right after Lord of the Rings was done.
Yeah, he should.
But imagine, dude, a Legend of Zelda maze or a Legend of Zelda land.
Oh, dude, people would flip out.
That would be, and that's got a big fan base. I mean, I agree with the concept of Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
But I think that's a lot of Mario.
Yeah.
In a land that's called Super Nintendo World, not Super Mario World.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, that was always my my deep-seated want. Was a Legend of Zelda land.
Well, it's so funny you mention that, because on one of the windows of Epic Universe, so I think it's a shop or maybe like a snack stand. I don't know. I think it's a shop. So they have kind of like the tower with the windows.
Yeah.
And one of the windows,
big windows too.
Oh, huge. And one of the windows is Zelda. So a lot like, okay, well,
it's Link.
Exactly, Link. So, doing that, could we see some type of Link representation in the park? And a lot of people hinted at Islands of Adventure. What was that attraction that closed down that they're trying to put it in?
Islands of Adventure.
It was kind of like Poseidon's Fury.
Okay.
So
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, they're thinking about there. I'm like, again, I agree with Dragon Blood. It's like, why is Orlando getting all this love? Why? Yeah. Hollywood needs love, because it's funny, because I've said it before. Brian Roberts announced years ago, said that Hollywood, in preparation for the Olympics and future, was going to get, I think at the time it was going to be like a $1.5 to $2.5 billion budget for this theme park and this theme park alone. So I said, okay, well, it's great that you built Super Nintendo World, even though we got shafted. I kind of feel that any land you want to bring, whether it's a dark universe, which again, on Dark Universe, I think it's a slap in the face for fans that love the classic horror, like Halloween horror movies, not to bring that land first to Hollywood, where they were actually born, filmed, and everything. I think it's in the face to throw it in Orlando first.
Not only that, so I don't mean to cut you off, but not only that, they took away our one attraction that we had immortalizing the Universal monsters. With the spook house that we had, the haunted house that we had at Universal. What the heck was it called?
House of Horrors.
House of Horrors.
Yes.
They took it away from us to put in a Starbucks.
I remember that. And to expand the studio store as well. Because I'm like, right. If anything, I tell you what, if they want to do something which would be in the right direction, at least for Hollywood's sake, get rid of all the crap that's in the former Walking Dead attraction and put House of Horrors back in there as all year around attraction. And I don't feel that it was so horrible, because people had the opportunity. If you wanted to go in there, you could go in there. If you didn't have to. It was something that was optional. And again, I get it. They want to update the park. They want to, appeal to new guests. I just don't think that was the smart move to remove something like that. I really don't.
No, especially with the amount of love they show the monsters on the studio tour.
Oh,
it's weird. Like, it seems so like polarizing, because on one hand, they want to be, the oldest, working studio in the world that, became the monster studio. And on the other hand, they want to be the greatest, most innovative, most up-to-date studio in the world. But they can do both. You know, you can marry the ideas and create something great. And I was really sad when we lost House of Horrors. That was like one of my favorite things to do. Even during horror nights, that was one of my favorite things to do. And I mean, John Murdy every year for horror nights pays homage to the monsters in some way or another. But it felt kind of like a slap in the face. And I feel like that was kind of a low point of Universal too.
Yeah.
Like really doing much else. I think, once they had Super Nintendo World locked in, and once they realized, oh, we can expand. And then they built all those sound stages on the other side, by Barham, by the back entrance. They moved the prop house and they, rearranged the whole back lot. Look at all these sound stages they have back here now. And a lot of these are, they use them for sporting events and stuff. And they've got all these trucks and everything too that they use.
Yeah.
They can move a lot of the actual studio work back there. Now, obviously, you want to keep the New York Street and Colonial and Little Europe and all that stuff, because that's history and that's stuff that still gets used practically.
Yeah.
But as far as sound stages, you can make room for the park and the whole front lot.
Oh yeah,
that's how I feel.
So it's funny because I actually said too, looking at this spot, they can actually build maybe 4 to 8 more of these buildings, which would like 16 to 20 sound stages, because each building has 2 or 3 sound stages per building.
Yep.
Because they're so massive. And with Universal and talks on possibly buying Warner Brothers, that's just more opportunity to move more production over to Warner Brothers, and also kind of give Universal the advantage when it comes to HHN, not only for Hollywood, not only for Orlando, the international parks, but the new Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas as well, because we'll have more keys to play with as well.
Agreed.
So whether they do that or not, who knows?
Yeah.
My next question is, with the theme park expanding, obviously we don't know what is coming after areas, because obviously the next project they're probably going to work on, besides the hotels and what's going on in City Walk, is ripping down the Simpsons, and God knows what's going to happen with that. If any lands, let's say just from Epic Universe, I think I already know your answer, we're going to come to Dark Universe, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Bring in Dark Universe.
Oh, heck yeah. So with Dark Universe, let's say they build it here. Okay. What would you do to customize it so it's not an exact copy of what Orlando's Epic Universe has? Because a lot of people, like I said, on Discord and a lot of these social medias, like I said, with the whole Donkey Kong thing going on, people don't want exact copies of lands that are in other theme parks, because why would they spend the money to fly out on a plane, stay at a hotel, if they can experience the same thing at their local theme park or their local Universal park? So what would you do to customize it to make it unique to Hollywood? What would you change?
That's a great question, man. Mainly because Orlando already took the most iconic monsters and made rides out of them. They did Wolfman and they did the Dracula and Frankenstein's monster. But you've still got, you've got Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You've got Hunchback of Notre Dame. You've got Invisible Man. You can even, honestly, like John Murdy's kind of really like, he's developed like this weird like love story with the Bride of Frankenstein. You can always do something like that, and keep her in this badass state and form kind of a ride around it. Now you still do want to have what might be cool is, and this is a hot take, this is just my old brain. If you want to relish in the idea of being the original monster studio, instead of being like Because if you look at the monsters at Epic Universe, they're like kind of up to date, cool, and like, you know what I mean? Why not get like vintage style
Yeah.
Dark Universe? You know what I mean? Let's get like a 1930s Dark Universe.
Oh yeah.
Even going so far as to like making everything black and white and gray shaded in there.
That would be sick.
Like, how crazy would that be?
Oh, it would be total.
And then put House of Horrors back there, a version of House of Horrors back there. You've also got you have a mummy ride, but you can bring mummies. There's so much IP as far as like horror.
Yeah.
And then dude, you can make a stupid Blumhouse extension.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just off. I'm off in left field now.
No,
but
I don't think you are. You're not.
If we were gonna change, but look at how cool like they look. Like they're so cool. So what if we just went the other way and we just made them not cool, but like old school?
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? It's so funny because I 100% agree to that. And one of the things I think they're missing an opportunity on, like you said, there's so many classic monsters that you said, and I said, well, instead of a Dracula themed roller coaster or why didn't they go with the Creature of the Black Lagoon attraction? I'm sure they're going to, but Creature of the Black Lagoon, it just celebrated its 70th anniversary.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell? So that would be just absolutely awesome. And I agree with you making ours kind of like the old retro, but like Marn at the same time. Mm-hmm. So you can make the facades old school, but you can still make it Marn where it's still eye appealing to not only, us as fans from the old school, but also cater to the new school as well.
Agree.
So again, I kind of beat around the bush. I think it was a slap in the face that, again, Orlando gets Dark Universe first. I don't agree with that. I just don't. I don't know.
I try not to think about it.
Oh, it's painful. It's so painful. And it drives me literally crazy. And, look at that. You can't tell me walking through that portal with that green lightning and on the inside of the portal, and then you got a lightning rod on the top of the portal. Just, oh my God. Wow. I don't even have words to describe that.
That's going to be life-changing, dude. That's going to be so cool.
Oh yeah. And like you said, look at Frankenstein, look at Wolfman, look at, just some of that.
God,
tell me
so rad.
A 5-year-old kid riding with their dad,
Look, he can't even look. He's looking the other way. He doesn't know where to look.
Yeah. And then I kind of like this too, where a little makeup shop. So hopefully
it's different.
Arm and a leg for it, because a lot of people will boycott it. But who I do like that they're going to have monsters roaming around, doing meet and greets. It's not where, oh, well, I have to check my Disney app to see when Mandalorian's coming out. No, I think they're just going to be rotating and always having some type of monster in the land doing meet and greets. So
like they do here.
A moment.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things about Universal as opposed to Disney is the meet and greets aren't like in a specific place at a specific time, line up, get your picture.
Yeah.
You're going to see Beetlejuice just wandering around, go say hi.
Oh yeah.
Dracula's gonna be just wandering around. Frankenstein's monster, Bride of Frankenstein, they're all just gonna be wandering around. You can go find them. Doc Brown, who knows where Doc Brown is, but he's there somewhere.
Exactly.
And they love to interact with people, and they're really quick on their feet. They're really good at their job. And I commend them, man. I would love to be able to think on my feet like that, like they do, and to just be able to just on a whim be the character and carry on conversations with complete strangers for hours a day.
Yeah. And I like that part because it makes you feel not only immersed in the moment, but it makes you feel like you're appreciated, whether you're a cast member, whether you bought tickets
Mhm.
to go that day, or you bought like a package for your family. You feel like you're being appreciated. Disney, on the other hand, don't get me wrong, they do have some great characters, but it's always you have to check your app, you have to find out where they're going to be. It's just like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Now this, the bar, which me and you would probably hang out in a lot.
Yep. A
You
lot.
yeah, you can't tell me a windmill that's on fire during the day and at night is not sick.
That's just gonna be igniting like throughout the day. That's just gonna, dude. The fact that they went with real fire here
Yeah,
just tells you how ambitious they got. They're like, dude, let's reach for the stars.
yeah.
And I'm not talking about Stardust Racers. Let's go up there and let's make it real fire.
Oh yeah.
And it just, dude, I cannot wait to feel the heat from that windmill, man.
Oh, dude,
Cannot wait.
it's gonna feel amazing.
Oh, I'm
You know,
stoked.
looking at all this Dark Universe stuff, and then what Walt Disney World announced with, their Villains Land.
Mhm.
Do you even think, even for a second, that Villains Land even stands a chance against something like this?
It really depends. Now, um my hesitation with Disney and
Sure.
Villains Land is, do you remember what was I don't remember what the name of the movie was, but it was like a villains takeover movie that Disney did a long time ago.
I think I vaguely remember that.
And it was, obviously Disneyland is for kids, but that's the difference here
Sure.
is we're getting a villains land, we're getting a monsters universe land that's almost feels like it's catered to us.
Yeah.
Villains Land, I don't think it's going to be catered to us.
No,
Mainly because I think we're going to be in our 60s by the time they finish it. So
probably.
we're going to be out of touch anyway with what villains they have. Now, if they were able to do like meet and greets with like Scar,
Yeah.
the Lion King, and
Oh.
stuff like how we have Juliet at Jurassic Park. We got a big Triceratops
Yeah.
that you can meet and interact with. If they're able to kind of break the mold and do something different like that, like how we have Donkey, you know what I mean? It's fine. We have Snowball. It's just animatronics and somebody listening. It's the same way Transformers works.
Yeah.
So if you're able to meet Scar, or if you're able to meet Shere Khan from the Jungle Book,
Yeah.
stuff like that. If they go more towards the big villains, I feel like they're not going to do that though. I feel like they're going to go with Sid and Lucifer,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean, like the stuff that they do, the villains that you meet at Cruella de Vil, the
Yeah.
villains that you meet at the Disney After Dark, whatever it's called, the Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah. Villains Grove, Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad in a way, because I'm thinking about it, and with what they want to do, which is great. At least on that aspect with Villains Land, I think the Walt Disney Company in general is going through a lot of turmoil. I think still, even though the political game, thank God, because they shouldn't. Let me put it this way: whether it's the Walt Disney Company, whether it's Comcast, Universal, they shouldn't get involved with politics and try to influence it in their theme parks. And that's exactly what they tried to do with the whole thing with DeSantis and Florida and all that nonsense. Yep. And I kind of feel that, with what we've seen new construction wise, prime example, Disneyland Resort, you got that stupid Home Depot looking building that they put as the Haunted Mansion gift shop, and now they closed the front of it because they didn't build drainage issues properly, so now it's flooding in the front, so they had to wall it off, and they're probably going to rip up something to fix it. Then they had the whole debacle with that piece of art they had inside the shop, where someone said they went on a that they went on a website and they literally uh found it on some random website you could buy for like $100. It's
Yeah.
like, not only was it a slap to all of us to see something like that, it was a slap to all the Imagineers and the cartoonists that have been around since Walt was alive.
The droves of artists they have at at their
Yeah,
beck and call that they could have used. And
yeah.
instead, they decided to just buy it off of some website somewhere. And
Yeah. So my question to you is, because there's still a lot of controversy going on at Walt Disney World with, Wars Island and them trying to put a Cars Land in there, got Villains Land. Then, we just saw the other day, I think Mondo or David from Fresh Baked. I like when they do Disneyland updates because they go in that giant Ferris wheel, which I haven't built the courage to go all the way up there. But dirt is finally moving behind the Avengers campus, show building. And I said, I told a couple of my buddies, I'm like, why is it that we had D23? I think it was in September? Was it in September? Or
I don't remember, dude.
oh,
It might have been September,
okay.
late September, early October. It's somewhere around there.
Okay.
It was
So
somewhere around there.
that far back, and one of the first things Josh Tomorrow said at the Honda Center, which I applaud them for acquiring the Honda Center. I think that was awesome. Dirt is moving. And then everyone kind of probably looked around in the stadium like, what in the hell are you smoking? And everyone took to the Twitter and Instagram. We're moving. Now all of a sudden they're just starting to move dirt. And I kind of feel that something like Avengers Campus, right? Because before D23, they got all the permits they needed for Disneyland Forward. So I kind of felt like, well, why did it take this freaking long to start moving dirt for the new 2 Avengers attractions that's supposed to be coming? One wasn't even supposed to happen. It was just a magical surprise. The other one has been waiting since 2019, maybe even later than that. Why would they be moving dirt? Meanwhile, you got Universal, like I said early on, that puts their money where their mouth is, pays contractors, pays these construction companies to build something, and they get it done in quarter of a time, where it takes Disney, like you said, we're probably going to be in our 60s by the time we see Villains Land open.
Yeah.
And it's still going to have issues, probably like Toontown did with Donald's Duck, Pond, and all sorts of, it's like, what the hell?
I remember a couple years ago, I don't remember which DisneyCon it was. I want to say it was 21.
Sure.
Or 22. When they announced that they at World, they were supposed to have some addition to Magic Kingdom, and it was going to be like over on the other side of Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what that is anymore, because it's since then kind of gone by the wayside.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be Frozen Land or something.
Yeah.
And like, I stopped kind of paying attention at that point. So I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's a lot. Like they made, but they've since basically since COVID, they've been announcing these really big projects.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's come to fruition.
Nothing.
We've gotten essentially a reskin of Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
We got your Home Depot gift shop next to we got a new queue for Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I can think of. I think they painted Astro Orbiter 17 times.
Yeah.
Keep closing that down, repainting it, and then opening it back up again for a couple months, and then
close it down again.
I try not to. I don't. Disney's different with me. I don't go as easy on Disney as I probably should, because I feel like they've got infinite possibilities. There's no reason they shouldn't be. They shouldn't stay at the top when it comes to entertainment. And like we were talking about earlier, it's good that Universal's decided to just step on the gas and try to catch up to them. With all the stuff that they're doing, because we didn't even mention they're opening a new park in Texas. That's another thing that they're doing. And in the UK.
Yeah.
So I think competition, I think that breeds wins for us as park goers, as fans. And I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that this is going to bring out the best in Disney whenever they finally are able to get through whatever the hell it is they're going through, this turmoil. They can come out the other side and really focus and be Disney again.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we really want.
Oh yeah.
Because we glorified, we romanticize Disney as a certain thing from the 90s and 2000s. And I think when Galaxy's Edge opened, that was like a whole, like, okay, now Disney's doing something.
Yeah.
And that's when the wheels start turning and everybody's like, okay, let's close since Magic Map is going away, let's turn that into Beauty and the Beast. Let's get rid of Autopia. Let's redo all of Tomorrowland, and then everybody was like having these grand ambitions, these grand plans.
Oh, sure.
And then, stuff happened.
Yeah.
We got nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And Tomorrowland has been a sore subject for God knows how long. Not the one in Walt Disney World. I think that one's okay. It's all
fine.
that has the horrendous problem. And
that one has people movers still.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of feel that we should have the people mover, but I kind of feel at this point what they need to do, seriously, is literally level that whole land. Minus, Space Mountain, you can keep that, but level everything else to the ground. Over, build a new Tomorrowland, whether it's based off Tron, whether it's based off, a new concept of what the tomorrow's technology could be, something. Because, sitting there walking through Tomorrowland, because after 3 years, I finally got it past Disneyland again, and through Tomorrowland and literally just seeing remnants of the people mover, remnants of freaking America Sings, that whole building, then they're looking at the old Michael Jackson Theater, as I call it, with EO and
Captain EO Theater,
and then you got other abandoned areas. It's like, what the hell am I even looking at? Then you got the Starcade that they open once in a while for special events. It's like, this whole land is a complete waste. I don't know why Disney has refused time and time and time again to just level it, rebuild it, do it right. I feel that once they get, maybe the 2 Avengers attractions built, once they get Avatar built, I feel like once that happens, then they will close Tomorrowland and redo it, hopefully. But from what it sounded like the last time Disney kind of opened their mouth about it, they're basically going to, what I like to call, putting lipstick on a pig and not actually do anything and just level and rebuild it.
Yep.
So it's like, again, and the biggest failure, like you said, the Walt Disney Company was on a great motion talking about, a new Tomorrowland, bringing us Galaxy's Edge. I 100% agree with you. Absolutely mind-blowing. They even had a great potential to build a the Galactic Star. they had a great opportunity for that. But you can't sit there and tell people, oh, well, first of all, it's only going to be a 2-day experience, and we're going to charge you $5,000 a person.
$5,000.
Yeah, it's like, who in the pay for that? So now a $1 billion building that they spent, which is heavily themed inside, now they're saying, oh, now we're turning it into WDI offices for new expansions happening in Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and all that. I'm like, really? Now you're going to put more money into this building. So basically a pit to throw more into it, to retrofit it in a way where you could put offices in there. It's like, what in the hell is wrong with you people?
Yeah, that's That's an admission of failure if I've ever seen one, man.
Yeah.
That poor thing. That just it never had a chance. The Galactic Star Cruiser.
You know what? I kind of feel it did have a chance, but as soon as they start naming price points, that's when it went downhill.
That's true. That's very true. Because I remember that's when I kind of saw a lot of people vlogging about what the hell is this? Like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to be able to do this?
Yeah.
You know? But I remember early on when they started building it and they were showing they were showing pictures of inside, and people were like, ugh, the theming looks kind of weak sauce. Like, it looks like just a regular hotel with some paint on the walls. Now they obviously, they changed that, but I think I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah.
I think it was such a crazy.
Yeah.
It was just a crazy idea in general. Like, I liked the idea because I'm all for, thinking outside the box. But
and you know what absolutely cracks me up is when they closed the Galactic Star Cruiser, and just up to recent, they were talking about making it kind of like a dinner theater type experience. It's like, okay, well, at least you guys are trying to revive it.
Yeah.
But then that idea, got thrown in the trash can, and now it's being built for WDI offices. And I'm like, you got so much land in Florida around that. Why would you even hint the idea of doing that? Why wouldn't you go with the dinner theater? At least, try to revive it.
Yeah. Make it something.
Yeah. Spending $1 billion on a building like that. It's like, do you guys realize $1 billion could have went a long way towards a new Tomorrowland at Disneyland? Could have went a long way with other infrastructure things that needed to be fixed. I'm glad now at like the Disneyland Resort we're getting the facial recognition, but even those, they're not even fully operational. It's like, why would you build something like that if they're not going to be fully operational? Because they're still using the cast members to scan your phone, scan your pass. It's like, is it really new, or is you're just teasing us with new, but you're still doing old school? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And that's one of the things I'm hoping with all the changes happening at Universal Hollywood, they would change, is that stupid fingerprint scanner.
Dude.
I hate that thing. It sucks.
There was a couple weeks there where they were not doing the fingerprint scanning.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, this is all right. Now I can get in and get out of here. And then last week we went and they were still doing it. And I showed in the video, like, there was one family in front of me, and it took me 15 minutes to get in the park.
God.
I'm like, this is so bad. Like, this is such bad tech. It doesn't work.
No.
And I knew that I'm like, I can't be the only one that thinks this. Like, nobody likes this. I'm sure even the workers don't like it either.
Oh, they hate it.
Because I'm sure they have to deal with every guest. Okay, put your finger down, right finger, lift it up, try again.
Yeah,
lift it up. And it's the same thing.
I've had to go through that, and I have a pass. I'm like,
yeah.
You're gonna sit there and make me scan 20 times? You guys see me every week. You don't know who I look like? Hell, you got freaking how many cameras trained on my face as soon as I walk through security? But that's just their old school way of doing things, and it drives me nuts. It's like,
maybe when the hotel comes in, they'll fix that too.
I really hope so. Jumping back to Universal Hollywood and City Walk, I want to ask you straight off the bat, do you really think it was a great idea, the building behind Mondo that we're seeing, that old somber Brazilian steakhouse location, do you think that was actually a good location for escape rooms, or you think that was a bad idea?
100% it's a bad idea. I thought they should have leveled this whole building.
Yeah.
Because Toothsome's not doing anything either.
See, I have to defend Twosomes a little bit, because I kind of feel, again, when it comes to the Hollywood park, I kind of feel like we are like the test rabbit. You know, we're not a theme park that gets the full scale of things,
Yeah.
or things that are scaled back from the other theme parks. And I feel like Tucson, at one point when it first opened, it was great. The food was awesome. The atmosphere was awesome. They had the meet and greet characters, which they recently removed like a month ago, which is kind of sad. And it's like, why? And then they got rid of the store to put in a bar. It's like, I kind of feel, and I said this at the beginning before I jumped to another topic, was that basically I feel that once Epic Universe opens to the public, what I've heard, again, it's not confirmed by any means whatsoever, that the Universal creative teams responsible for Epic Universe, responsible for Orlando City Walk, all those teams are going to come back to Hollywood, and we're going to see massive changes everywhere, whether it's the theme park, whether it's City Walk, whether it's, it's all going to be revamped. And I feel that, that's what we need. Like City, for example, like you're talking about in the old days where we had Salback Restaurant, we had a nightclub. I think Wizards was like a nighttime dinner show. We had kind of like
comedy club in there.
Comedy
Ron Lovett's comedy club was in there.
Yeah, which the sign is still there. Just a bit. It's like, when are we going to get back to this? Because I kind of feel with the hotels, we're going to see it come back, but I kind of feel like the infrastructure for the parking needs to be revamped. And a prime example of that was I went to the Eve event for 2024.
Okay.
And my first time doing it, never did it before. I have a platinum pass. I've had a platinum pass with Universal Hollywood since 2018. And my whole thing is, what pissed me off is I live all the way in Riverside County, kind of towards the end of like the beginning of San Diego County. So I'm and I came there that night at, I think it was like 7:20 p.m. And for the Eve event, it's a special event, so you have to pay a separate ticket admission to get in.
Yeah.
But if you're a platinum pass holder, you get that free ticket to the event. And I pulled up to the parking structure. They said, well, sir, since you came after 6 p.m., you have to pay the $35. That there pissed me off. I said, why am I paying the prices that you guys are charging me for a platinum pass if I can't show up past 6 p.m. to go to an event that is free with my annual pass, but I could do it for HHN, but I can't do this? What the hell is the problem with this? Because we're talking night compared to how many nights with HHN? Too many to count. So it's wait a second. So I kind of feel that that's a problem. Then the AMC, they do something where they validate, but AMC is the only one. All these other restaurants and whatnot, they don't validate. So right off the bat, if you have, let's say you and your wife, and let's say if you have some kids, so let's say there's 4 of you, right off the bat, you're getting charged $35 to park. Then if you want to go to a restaurant, that's going to charge you $200, $250, $300.
Yep.
And if your kids want souvenirs, maybe some candy or something, that's going to be another $150. So it's like by the time you're done, you're spending $500, $600, $700 for one night. I kind of feel that Hollywood needs, like you said, Orlando does free parking after 6 p.m. I think they need to go in that route. Even the Disneyland Resort, when they had ESPN Zone alive and they had Rainforest Cafe alive, I remember going there for my birthday because I love Rainforest. It's a great restaurant for immersive experience. And I always remember my dad complaining, oh God, I have to pay $25 to park. And then after we get to the restaurant, we eat, we get the bill, they validate our parking. So, I kind of feel that Universal again is stuck in their old school ways between and the thumbprint scanner nonsense. It's like, the hell are we doing here? Why the program? I don't.
And small changes too. Like that doesn't take much.
No, and And oh, I just wanted to point this out since we were talking about it earlier. So,
Yeah.
the extended queue, I still don't understand why we have Star Trek, one of the biggest IPs, not
Mhm.
biggest, but one of the biggest. Why is it in a tiny little area hidden in the back, like something to be ashamed of? What the hell is that?
It's
I,
weird. Like, yeah, that doesn't make any. Like I said, I'm gonna have to go. Like, unless they got a giant tent back there,
yeah,
that's so strange.
yeah, it's bizarre. It's almost like
It's like
Universal.
hidden away.
Yeah, it's almost like they're ashamed to have that property. Like, want to hide it, like it's like Notre Dame or something. Like it's but want to show it to people. I don't know. It's bizarre.
Yeah, see, it's that's the other. Like, I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, are they gonna funnel people in through that way, or are they gonna funnel people in through the Despicable Me line?
I
Because
don't know.
when they used that as the queue for whatever haunted houses in the Parisian courtyard, you
Yeah,
go like around the back and
yeah.
come back through. It's like it's a weird. So I don't know what their plan is for that, but that is strange. That could very well be a misprint, man. I don't. Maybe I ask somebody next time I go because that is
Yeah,
weird. It's weird that they wouldn't use the Walking Dead attraction
yeah.
space.
Because it almost seems like from some of the pictures I saw on the website itself that there's going to be like a lot of walkthrough areas, and it's like, do you really want to have an IP like this outside like an HHN type style walkthrough, or do you want to have it in the soundstage and give it the respect it deserves? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially like you said, if it's going to be one of their bigger IPs that they're going to use, and I think it's going to be a really cool attraction.
Yeah.
I think being able to walk through an actual like set used bridge from the USS Enterprise.
Oh,
I'm not even a Star Trek fan, but I can appreciate that.
oh yeah. Yeah, because oh man. I'm not a humongous fan either. I have friends that are diehard fans. I'm like, okay, you're I appreciate you like the show, but you're too much for me, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
And but I can appreciate them trying to do this, and I don't think they really I think they messed up on the IPs this year. I think between Star Trek, between you got Back to the Future, which is the main. I would say
Mhm.
the event. You
Of
go
course.
to a UFC event, you have all these little fights, and then you have the main event. That's the main event right there. That's what
Yep.
everyone wants. And then you got two anime IPs that are coming from Universal Japan, which
Mhm.
I heard that they are helping with. So they're not going to be alone on that. Now
That's good.
you shot some video on your video about this, and you were hinting that this could be for Back to the Future, but I think someone on X corrected you, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, that was Dylan. That's theme park obsession. Yeah.
yeah,
And
give,
when I shot it, I was thinking that too,
yeah,
but I was like, you know what? I I don't know because they're shooting more toward the front and those lights were really far away and those are I mean those aren't made for like weather lights. Those are like balloons. The balloon
yeah,
lights make it look like it's sunny. Those are spotlights. So I was like, well, maybe they're lining the road for to spotlight the courthouse.
yeah,
But I mean, Dylan's probably right. It's probably just because they're doing production over there. But
sure,
um, it's nice to dream.
yeah. And it's so funny because I've said it time and time again also on my live streams. I said, you know what, when it comes to social media, that's everyone's go-to to kind of have a voice for their own opinion about certain things. And I've said it, where I've come out and said, well, what if Hollywood got a Donkey Kong, or what if we got a Diagon, or what if we got
Mhm.
this? People, because they don't like the idea or they know something I don't, they immediately attack someone because they don't like what they say. It's like, you
Yeah.
know, I kind of feel like, hey, you know what? If you don't like the comment, you don't have to respond to it. You might have read it, but you don't have to respond to it if you're respectful about it. But you know, I respect Dylan's point. That's probably what it is. Now,
Yeah.
now I'm crossing my fingers. Sometime in the future, we do get the Metro sets back for HHN. We need
Dude,
that
there's nothing I want more.
so bad.
Now, the problem with that is they've been using the hell out of those sets for productions.
Oh yeah,
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Universal can definitely afford to kind of black it out from like June to December or something.
sure.
But I don't know if they want to,
Yeah,
because they've got well, I mean, Hacks, St. Denis Medical, and TED, that's all in the back.
Yeah.
So you don't even need that. They just need the Victorian area out front. But dude, I would like nothing more. And I know Dragon Blood mentioned a while ago, bring back Toxic Tunnel.
yes.
That was like one of my favorite things at Horror Nights, because that's a long walk. If you've never made that walk before, that's a long walk. But with the Toxic Tunnel there, it doesn't seem as long because you're distracted by the music and the lights and the crazies. But that also, like, that kept Universal from feeling so congested.
Yeah.
Like, even though they have the two houses on the H lot now, they used to do what, 4 out on the Metro sets, 3 or 4.
Yeah. 4.
So they did a really good job of spreading it all out.
Yeah.
And with the amount of ticket sales they have for that event, they could use a little spreading out.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not a big park.
No, and it's not. And it's funny you mentioned the H lot, because we talked about it earlier, where that second hotel is supposed to be built.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if we're losing that location for 2 houses, where the hell are you supposed to put those? You got to put them,
Gotta go somewhere.
And the whole thing. Yeah, it's great to have a sound stage, but then again, it's also great to be outside too. It's also great to walk around some actual sets where you could say, hey, I remember that spot in that movie. I stood there and yada, yada, yada,
Yeah.
To be in a soundstage, great. Yeah. You could say, oh yeah, all sorts of Hollywood movies filmed in the soundstage and Soundstage 24, but you don't know what movies filmed in there. You don't know.
It's not iconic.
Exactly. It's not iconic. So with that, and then I want to ask you too, with the studio tour, okay, with the picture car area where we had that accident probably about a year ago now, it seems like. Do you ever think that location's coming back, or do you think it's just gone forever?
It's got to come back, right? They were turning it into a raptor paddock.
Yeah, that's what.
So it's got to come back eventually, I would assume.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if it's because they've got the space down there since they got rid of Whoville for all the picture cars down there.
Yeah.
But there's a whole Jurassic Park area up there that they want to use, that people really like, that I really liked. I don't know. I don't know when they plan on opening it back up, because mum's the word there. They're very hush hush about that.
Yeah.
But
they are super hush about it. And the problem is, it's like, okay, well, the last thing I heard about the whole, tram accident and all this other crazy legal stuff that they were going through was from what I remember, they came with an agreement from the people that supposedly flew off the tram, car, which I'm having a hard time believing if they didn't, participate in that. They settled, and it's been settled for quite some time. And I'm like, okay, well, why can't we get this area back then? Because we kind of got robbed of that area for the 60th for the studio tour, because they added all sorts of Jurassic Park themed elements with the big giant T-Rex, some other stuff going on. Like you said, the old dancing car Fast and Furious failure was getting reskinned to Dino Panic. It's like, what the hell is going on with that? You know, if they had the last thing I heard they wanted to do was maybe take out one of the Amity Island buildings that sit and relocate it. That way they can make the turn for the tram a little bit wider so it's not such a sharp turn. But I'm like, I'm honestly thinking about it. I'm like, you know, I've watched people's videos where they've said, "Oh yeah, I've almost flung out." I'm like, did you really almost fling out, or did you participate in that? I don't really believe you almost flew out of there, because I've been on, I've been on that tour dozens and dozens of times. Sat on that very side where it kind of has a sharp turn. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm fine. You know,
I love that part.
Oh yeah, I don't go flying, so. I think it was more of a, I wouldn't say I don't think it was more of a, you know, an accident. I think it was more trying to see if they could get, you know, money from a major company. I think it was an accident. I really don't.
Yeah, no, I think people try to take advantage of a situation that they just happen to be a part of, and you know, to each their own. That's fine. But I don't think that's like, that shouldn't be a big issue for it to take this long.
No.
To open.
No.
And that's what's weird to me, is that, and every time we exit King Kong, I go, okay, well, we're going this way now.
Yeah.
Not going back up. Like, it'd be nice to go back up there.
Yeah.
Especially before they closed it down, there was a lot of work that was already done.
Yeah,
so they'd already had the whole building repainted and everything. Now, I'm assuming they're going to let you drive through there again, right? I'm assuming they're going to drive through that building again, like they did when it was the Fast and Furious dancing cars. So that's a little bit of a reroute, but that's technically just reestablishing an old route.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in that turn, like, I don't know, like, never, like, honestly, the turnaround at the end of Colonial Street,
you
go across Wisteria Lane, that seems more like intense than the turnaround there.
100%.
You go faster around that corner. But I don't know.
You know what? I don't honestly get it. Again, I kind of feel that with any project they have built at Universal Orange Grove 55, you know, with any project they've built at this park, I kind of feel we are the test dummy. I really, and that doesn't. I think
you're onto something.
Yeah, I don't think we are. I don't think it's just Universal. I think it's Disney too, because I've noticed something even before Disneyland Forward was a thing. Again, they were pumping so much money into the cruise lines, pumping so much money into the international parks, pumping so much money into Walt Disney World. It's like, where's the love for SoCal? Where's the love for Walt's original Magic Kingdom? Where's the love for, you know, freaking Universal Hollywood, where freaking $100 million movies are filmed out of? Where's the love for all that?
Yeah.
Why are we getting shafted? What the hell? So, you know, I kind of feel that we're on the right direction. I do feel Josh tomorrow, and hopefully whoever succeeds Bob Iger has the mentality to say, you know what, if Comcast Universal is putting their foot on the gas, we need to put our foot on the gas even harder, because this is unacceptable. Oh, and stop stupid. Oh, we're going to spend $1 billion on a building and make it an epic failure, and just that's all right. We'll just make it into offices. Who in the hell cares? And
do you think they're going to keep it like that, or do you think that's like a
I think they're gonna keep it like that at least until all the construction's done, which is probably gonna take about 50 years to complete. Um, so it's probably gonna be a good long while. Maybe your kids might
Yeah.
actually become something again. That's actually for the theme park guests. But we'll have to wait and see. You know, eh, I kind of feel too that you know, like I've said repeatedly during this live stream, I kind of feel the domestic parks, especially on the West Coast, need love, and that goes for Knott's Berry Farm too. Because I could see you're wearing the Knott's Scary Farm shirt. I went to Knott's Scary Farm last year for
Percent.
first time in 5 years.
Nice.
And I had an absolute blast. I want to ask you about that real quick.
Okay.
What the hell is going on with Montezuma's, man? I-
Your guess is as good as mine, dude. I don't know. That's a sad state of affairs over there.
Um,
Um,
God,
Knott's has they've got some sort of weird fetish where they like to get involved in coaster developers that like to screw them over or just are very incompetent.
yeah,
And they never learn from their mistakes.
no,
Now, on the other hand, they've got I believe B&M is actually the ones that did Silver Bullet,
yes,
which it's really funny because that happens to be the most that's the most the coaster that is never down ever. It's the most reliable coaster, and it's got the best operations. It's constantly running 2 trains even on slow days because it can. So you think that they would figure that out, and especially now that they've merged with Six Flags, who has done business with top roller coaster developers, you'd think they would have figured it out by now.
you would think.
I don't know what their deal is, dude. Like,
Yeah,
it's a race between who's gonna finish first, Disney or Knott's.
or Universal at this point now with the
Well, Universal's gonna finish first if you throw them in.
well, that
It's a race for second at that point.
that's true. Oh, you make a great point, and there's been talks about even Accelerator going away because it has an old ride system that when it does go down,
Yeah.
it takes forever to get parts because they have to basically manufacture their own parts
Mhm.
because you can't find parts for it anymore. It's that old.
They've already said, yeah, if they have any more problems with it, it's gonna go away because they don't want to do what they did last time and just let it sit there for 3 years waiting for parts to come back.
Yeah.
Now they fixed the launch system, in a sense, um, and I think they've managed to salvage parts from Top Thrill over in Ohio. So they've got spare parts for certain things, but if something happens to where it's going to have to go down for a little while, yeah, they've already said that they're going to get rid of it because
Yeah.
this is not worth the hassle. Which honestly would suck because that's like my favorite ride at that park.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think that it could be better. Not like as a ride, but I'm always sad that they never put lights on it like they have hang time.
Yeah.
If you look at the roller coaster next to it, I mean that thing, it's a thing of beauty at night, man. Hang time is awesome to see at night, and I
Oh,
don't know why they don't have it like that on Accelerator 2.
yeah.
Accelerators in the dark, like it's fun to ride in the dark. Don't get me wrong,
Oh,
but I don't know why they don't have it lit up like and have like the lights follow the almost like Stardust Racers, where
yeah.
you can have the lights follow the train up the top hat and down. I think that would be so badass.
That
But
would that you know what? To be honest with you, at this point, since it's so old and whatnot, I don't think they would. But when they first were building it, I 100% agree with you, and that's some of the growing rumors that are happening with Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. That's not going to have a lighting package.
oh, dude, that's not good.
No, no, and I said why? You have one of the best manufacturers, one of the best manufacturers in the world building a legendary, unique roller coaster. And
That's
Don't have a lighting
that's a
package.
missed opportunity, man. If
That's
that's the case.
that's what I said. But
That's
again, the theme parks are they're going in the right direction, minus Disney. If it doesn't take them 50 years to build something,
yeah,
but it's going to be a great time to be a theme park fan, without doubt, without doubt.
I
So,
agree.
um,
Yeah, I look forward to it. And
oh
even like for the last, even when I was exclusively going to Disney,
yeah,
it's always fun to like to think that things are always moving forward and things are always changing.
yeah,
Now I get to like see it at other parks too, and it's
oh yeah, you can't keep up,
words can't express. Yeah, it's overwhelming, dude.
but it's a good overwhelming. So that's not
100%.
100%. Well, I want to thank you for joining tonight's live stream. I had a lot of fun. I know a lot of our guests had a lot of fun. I can't wait to have you back on the show, and
Yeah.
maybe I'm running into you at Universal because I'm always there every 2 weeks on Thursday in the
Okay.
morning filming. So hopefully I can run into you again. I want to thank you for coming on tonight's Conductor Thursday live stream. And just to reiterate for everyone in the chat watching, where can everyone find you on social media, sir?
You can find me at Chastains in LA on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and X. Chastains in LA on all those platforms. I made it easy for you.
Absolutely.
Easy peasy.
Everyone in the chat, please check out his content. He's absolutely amazing. Whether Universal, not Six Flags, and hopefully Disney, hopefully in the future.
Mate, we'll see.
But amazing content, amazing conversation. You can find me, Park Conductor, at YouTube, Instagram, Bluesky, at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can find me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Conductor Thursday Livestream, where either I'm going solo or I have amazing guests like Chastians in LA was tonight, and we talk everything about Universal, Disneyland, other theme parks, including the Florida parks, even though I hate them because they're getting all the good stuff. But I want to thank everybody for joining. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Have a good night.